Welcome back, Giants fans. Today we have the week 2 breakdown already. So it's a short week. We're on Thursday. It's weird doing a preview video on a Tuesday, I will say. Some people asked about doing the film reviews, and as I've said, like the NFL Game Pass doesn't have the coach's film or all 22, whatever you want to call it, yet. I mean, they're saying they're getting it, but they don't have it yet. So I wasn't going to do it because of the short week, but I might do like a mini film review type thing from the broadcast view. Obviously, it's going to suck because we can't see everything, but I'll work with what I have here. So I'll do something on like probably Friday or Saturday after the game's over. Anyway, let's get to this game here. So notable injuries so far for this game on Thursday. Saquon Barkley is limited. They asked him about it today, like, are you going to play? He said, like, we'll see on Thursday. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like he will because he made it out unscathed, but you never know. You don't know how a guy is going to react off an injury, so we'll see. Evan Engram did not practice, but I think I saw somewhere that Joe Judge feels optimistic about him, so maybe Engram plays. I think he would help a lot in this game. Shane Lemieux did not practice. I mean, that's one where I don't think he's going to play, but you never know. I also think Ben Bredeson played better last Sunday, so I mean, it's okay if he's out, honestly, that's fine. For Washington, Ryan Fitzpatrick, their quarterback they signed in the offseason, he's on the IR, and wide receiver Curtis Samuel for Washington's on the IR, so definitely a break there. Now, personally, as a Giants fan, I don't know if I feel better about Ryan Fitzpatrick versus Taylor Henneke, sorry. I don't know like who I want. Like, I guess with Fitzpatrick, yes, there's some experience, and I guess Fitzpatrick's a better thrower of the ball downfield, but with Heineke, you bring in this dual threat rushing element, and like Heineke's not that bad of a quarterback. Like, his speed scares me. He can get away from a pass rush. He's not a terrible passer, and honestly, like, he was somewhat close to like taking down Tampa Bay last year in the wild card round. Like that Washington team actually gave them a pretty nice run in the first round of the playoffs, and it's, you know, Tampa did a good job in the Super Bowl, of course. I think they killed their opponent in the divisional round, but like Washington actually gave them a pretty good run for their money there, and Taylor Heineke was the quarterback. So I don't think Heineke's like a pushover type of guy. I think as Giant fans, we learned our lesson because a lot of people were like, oh, Teddy Bridgewater sucks, and then he came out and looked like Patrick Mahomes against us. So Heineke, I don't take him lightly. I don't know if this is good news or bad news that Fitzpatrick's out. We'll find out. The Giants historically, I feel like, have had trouble against the mobile type quarterback, so maybe this is not a good thing for the Giants. But yeah, I mean, we'll find out how Heineke does. But last week he came in relief. He was 11 for 15, 122 yards, and 1 passing touchdown, so he did pretty well. I mean, the stats look good. He didn't look as good as the stats looked, in my opinion, but I think Heineke is not a person that we should take lightly. I will say that. So Washington's per-game ranks in 2020, they were 30th in the NFL in offensive yards per game. The Giants were 31st and Jets were 32nd, but some bad offenses here. They all made improvements with the weapons here. I mean, Curtis Samuel is out, but Washington now has, did they really make improvements, honestly? I mean, they didn't make too many improvements to their offense, if I'm being honest now. Like, they brought in Curtis Samuel, but now he's out. They do have Diami Brown, a wide receiver from North Carolina. Pretty good player, so maybe that's an upgrade. But they didn't make too many improvements to their, like, running back room. It's still Antonio Gibson. It's still Terry McLaurin, it's still Logan Thomas. They still have their same guys and whatever. But their defense, though, was ranked second in the NFL. That was definitely the strong point of the Washington football team and why they ended up going 7-9 last year. So while their offense stunk, their defense was very good, and I expect more of the same this year. Now, Washington played the Chargers on Sunday. The score was 20-16. But personally, when I watched that game and went back and watched it, I thought the Chargers looked like the much better team. Like, that score, I don't think tells the entire story, because when you look at that score, you're like, oh, Washington played well. They were close. But like, I feel like when you actually watch the game, I feel like the Chargers played a whole lot better than Washington did. Washington's special teams were not good. They weren't very good in the whole pass blocking department. Their defense was not that great outside of the pass rush. So it's like, it wasn't the most impressive week 1 game here. But these are two teams that have their backs against the wall. The Giants 0-1, Washington 0-1. Washington plays the Bills and Buffalo Buffalo after this week, kind of like a look-ahead thing for them, but like you don't want to go 0-2 into there. And the Giants, I believe, who do they play week 3? We play the Falcons week 3, which is a winnable game, but I think if you're Washington, you kind of have like more of an urgency, I guess. I think both teams have urgency here, but Washington going to Buffalo, having their backup quarterback, probably a lot of urgency, and they have the veteran coach in Ron Rivera, who I do think will have them ready to play that game. So, I mean, I don't know what to expect in this game, honestly, but I do think it's winnable. I said that last week. It bit me in the ass, obviously, but I do think it's winnable. So, the Giants' offensive line versus Washington's defensive line. How will they fare? I mean, last year Andrew Thomas did pretty well versus Chase Young. I don't think we let any Washington defensive linemen kill us single-handedly last year, but anytime you face the Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Daron Payne defensive line, it's scary. And our offensive line has had a lot of issues, as we know. So the whole Nate Solder, Matt Peart, and rotation at right tackle, I'm sure they'll continue that. I do think Bredesen may actually start at left guard this game. We'll find out how that goes. Will Hernandez, I was a little disappointed with the way he played. I expected better on Sunday. Didn't get it. Nick Gates was fine. Andrew Thomas played well, as we know. So, there is something to build off of there. But, the right tackle, left guard spot, it's, right guard spot even, there's still some question marks on this Giants offensive line for sure, and they play a very talented front four here. Now, Heinicke has a dual threat. I mentioned before the Giants have had their struggles versus dual threat quarterbacks, and that's exactly what Taylor Heinicke is. I think he ran like a 4.56, someone said before, but like that, it's he's not like Lamar Jackson, but he's also not Eli Manning. Like he can definitely break away from the pocket if he needs to, and he'll run for a first down here and there. It'll piss us off probably because we'll feel like we have them on 3rd and 9, and then all of a sudden Taylor Heinicke will take off and run for a first down. So that's not going to be fun, but I do expect him to have a couple big rushing plays in this game. More quick passes, definitely possible for the Giants offense. We saw a lot of the same Jason Garrett curl concepts and all that stuff. It's the same stuff from last year, really. So I do think a lot of the stuff will stay the same, unfortunately. The Giants may finally be able to unleash their offense in week 3 versus Atlanta, who does not have that good of a defense. But playing this Washington defense, you can't have Daniel Jones sit in the pocket for 4 or 5 seconds. You do not have that luxury of time when you play a pass rush like this. So that's definitely a problem here. Washington, at least last year, tended to play in a lot more zone defense, a lot of cover 3 for them. There may be, parts in this game where they can throw to Kyle Rudolph open in the zone, or even find Kenny Golladay open in the zone, Sterling Shepard. They're going to have chances to move the ball on offense here. But with adding William Jackson to their secondary, a corner that they signed, they might play more man defense this year. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm sure adding a cornerback definitely will have them play more man defense for this 2021 season, but that was last year at least. So who to attack on offense here if you're the Giants? All right, so the Giants can go after the linebackers here. John Bostic, Jamin Davis. Jamin Davis is a young guy, first-round pick for them, not too experienced yet. I do want Evan Engram to play this game because I really do feel if you put Engram against these linebackers, he may do very well. We know Landon Collins covering tight ends kind of has his shortcomings in that area sometimes. I mean, Jabril Peppers wasn't much better on Sunday, but still, sometimes we can attack them with the tight ends. Kyle Rudolph, at this point in his career, is probably not beating many linebackers in one-on-one ones, but I feel like Evan Engram would have been a pretty big help in this game, so I do hope he's out there. Who else can you attack? I mean, their secondary is good. I really don't know which part of the secondary for the Washington football team that you can go out here, go against here. When they're in a nickel set on defense, you may be able to attack St. Juste. What's his name? Benjamin St. Juste, I think. Yeah, the rookie. Benjamin St. Juste, I think, might play as an outside corner for them when they're in nickel. That's one of those things where it's hey, we can attack that guy because he's new. I think he was a 3rd or 4th round pick. That's a guy the Giants can attack here with Sterling Shepard. So Benjamin St. Juste versus Sterling Shepard. Advantage goes to the Giants there in that matchup. So I think that's one you have to look at if you're the Giants for sure. And then once again, the linebackers, they're not that great, I feel like, especially in coverage. So I would try to attack John Bostic, Jamin Davis, Cole Holcomb, those type of guys, and see what happens. And as for running the ball, I mean, it's going to be tough. I don't know if the offensive line can get enough push against a front four like this. We saw it against Denver, and although that stat came out about Saquon Barkley being the least efficient running back in week 1, which is not what you want to see, but he's coming off an injury. I'll give him a pass, but not what you want to see. But with that and the combination of the offensive line not getting enough push against this front four of Washington, I don't know how they're going to run the ball. That's another concern I have about the Giants in this game. Now, if they can open running lanes, it'll make Daniel Jones' life a whole lot easier and open up play action and all those things. But until I see the Giants run the ball well and consistently, I can't sit here and say they're going to do it. So this might not be the right matchup for that. But if you're Washington, you also have some advantages because the Giants have had such problems in the past. I mean, it's been like for the past 5 years, I feel like, of covering tight ends. And Logan Thomas had a great year last year. Logan Thomas is a really good tight end. I feel like he can definitely beat us at some points. We had problems with our linebackers and Jabril Peppers once again trying to cover tight ends. And, hopefully Logan Thomas doesn't beat us too badly this game. We saw Darnay Holmes have some issues on Sunday. It wasn't too bad. He did make a nice play. I'll throw that in there. But, they do have Adam Humphries in the slots. He was once a Buccaneer, Tennessee Titan, pretty solid player. Got to watch out for him. Of course, Terry McLaurin. That's, one of the better receivers in football these days. And I don't know if he'll be on a Dory side of the field or if he'll be on James Bradbury's side of the field. But the Giants played a lot of zone last week, which kind of is not what I wanted to see. I would like to see more man in a matchup like this. Force Taylor Heinicke to throw guys open and beat you in man defense. I'm tired of seeing so much zone looks for the Giants on defense. Make Taylor Heinicke make a pinpoint throw. If he beats you that way, then okay, so be it. But make Taylor Heinicke beat you. I don't want to sit in zone for 80% of this game like it felt like that last week at least, but not what I want to see. And Washington running the ball, Antonio Gibson, very talented back. He was a third-round pick, I believe, former wide receiver from Memphis. They have him, J.D. McKissick, Jarrett Patterson. I think some Giants fans like Jarrett Patterson, the rookie. McKissick, as we know, good receiving back, but Antonio Gibson is their main guy. He had a crucial fumble last week, which was a big reason Washington lost that game, but Antonio Gibson, outside of that fumble, had a very good game on Sunday. That's a guy I'm kind of nervous about because we saw what Melvin Gordon did against us, and I don't think Melvin Gordon's all that good. So Antonio Gibson's a guy I definitely fear. And Washington's offensive line's not that bad. They actually have a pretty respectable offensive line. Charles Leno, he's a former Bear. He played there for a while. He was our left tackle for half a decade, played pretty well. Eric Flowers, our old friend, playing left guard for them. He's been a serviceable, average starting guard since he's left this team. Chase Roulier, I think that's how you pronounce it, Roulier, he's a good player, center for Washington. Brandon Sheriff, we know how good he is. And Sam Cosmi, a rookie out of Texas. I liked him a lot, very athletic player at right tackle. So their offensive line is not that bad, Washington. It's kind of like on Denver's level. Denver didn't have a top 10 offensive line. I don't think Washington has a top 10 offensive line, but they're somewhere from that 10 to 15 range, pretty average. I mean, it's above average, I'll put it that way. So I definitely respect the offensive lines of these teams, or of this team, not the Giants, but of this team. So, yeah, the Washington football team definitely has their matchup advantages, but so do the Giants. I think it's going to be, can the Giants pick on the right guys on defense, and does Daniel Jones have enough time to throw? That's really the big thing about this game. Now, for the Giants pass rush, I mean, it's going to be a bit tough once again because, as I mentioned, Taylor Heinicke has mobility. He knows how to bounce around in the pocket and maneuver pass rushers. Going to be tough to get home against him. Could it be Ojulari, who had a sack last week but didn't really play well the entire rest of the game? Maybe. I mean, Lorenzo Carter, of course, he'll be there. And, Leonard Williams was quiet last week. Dexter Lawrence was pretty quiet for the most part. Austin Johnson did have a sack, but outside of that, didn't do all that much. The Giants just don't have a guy that's going to disrupt the game on defense unless it's Leonard Williams. This has to be the game where Leonard Williams has to step up and say, hey, this is why I make $20 million per year. So the Giants need Leo in this game pretty badly. I would hope that Dexter Lawrence and Austin Johnson and Danny Shelton are good versus the run. You hope that's the case. But for the outside linebackers, they got to hope that Lorenzo Carter or Azeez Ojulari or O'Shane Ximines, one of those guys steps up and has a consistent pass rush, because if they don't and we allow Taylor Heinicke to sit back and throw for 4 seconds, it'll make him look like Teddy Bridgewater once again, and you can't have that. And in situations where the Giants are a man and the defenders turn their back on a pass play, Heinicke's going to run and pick up a first down. So it's going to be tough, honestly. I have my concerns about playing a mobile quarterback, and as I sit here and talk about this, I kind of wish Fitzpatrick was starting, but maybe not. We'll see what happens. But anyway, that's pretty much the analysis part. But how do I feel about this game? All right, so the Giants right now are a plus 3.5, so Washington's favored to win by a little over a field goal. I guess that's right. I can't really complain. You guys know I'm realistic about the Giants. I probably wouldn't have favored them to win this game either. I get it, not mad about it. The Giants got to prove it to me first. For me to sit here and pick the Giants to win a game, especially for how embarrassing Sunday was, it was basically a 27-7 game. I mean, the last touchdown was nonsense, but good for Daniel Jones' stats, but it was nonsense. But the Giants got to prove it to me first. This is a must-win game, and it's going to be a long 10 days after if they don't win this, especially if they look bad. If they come out here and have another crappy game like Sunday, going to be a long 10 days, and I do not feel like sitting through that and having to wait for week 3. And I do think week 3 is winnable as we look ahead to Atlanta. It's winnable, but why not win this game and go 2-1? Like that's what we're hoping for here. So it seems like the sky is falling. Everything is terrible for the Giants because of week 1. It's one game. I try not to overreact too much. It was one game, but if you lose this game to Washington and badly, or just lose it in general, it's not going to be good. And the Giants, after Atlanta, have a pretty tough schedule coming up. They play some tough teams like Dallas and the Rams and some other good team in there. I forget. Maybe it was the Chiefs or maybe, I forget. But they play a tough team in there as well. So I don't know. They got to win this game. I don't care how they do it. I don't care if they win 3-0, 2-0. They got to win this game. The Giants have to be 1-1 after this game. Obviously, mathematically, it's not a must-win in week 2. But for a team like this with a tough schedule coming up, they kind of have to win. Not going to call it a must-win, but they have to win. I think they really do. So we'll find out. Do you guys feel confident about this game, or will I come on here on Thursday night and be disappointed? Let's find out. But anyway, I actually do plan on live streaming this game unless something changes. I do plan on live streaming this game. I don't know what the setup's going to be. I might be here. I might be at my desk. I have no idea, but I got my TV over there. I just don't know if I trust my Wi-Fi to last for an entire live stream. I'll find out, but I'll try to live stream for you guys on Thursday. I haven't done a game yet live streaming, so that will be fun. Hopefully I'm a good luck charm and make us 1-0. We'll see. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys next time.